Hey good looking, I am super tempted by the Too Faced Sunset Stripped palette, so I put together for you and myself a brand exclusive Sydney Grace collection of singles that kind of dupes the vibes of the Sunset Stripped palette. And I also, based off of Leah Janae's video, want to see how smoky I can possibly get this. So if you're interested in a really smoky, sultry look and exactly what shades I used in this palette from my Sydney Grace Single Eyeshadow collection, then please stay tuned and let's check it out. Hi, I'm Kendra Morgan. Oh, and I put out content weekly centered around makeup brushes, single eyeshadows, sunscreen. Don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel down below. Hit the notification bells also if you want to know exactly, because sometimes I don't upload at the same time every day. All right, let's get started. Want to go over the shadows that I picked out for the Sunset Stripped palette. I used reference point Leah Janae's video because she got an early access to it along with one of her friends, so make sure you guys go check out her video. I'll link it down below for you guys, and you can see what I went off of as far as swatches. So on the actual Instagram, just a moment here, on the actual Instagram, I think they had a little bit of a filter going on because her palette didn't look exactly the same. It actually looked more warm toned than the Instagram. The Instagram looked almost a little bit more neutral, so just to let you guys know there. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's the palette in all its glory, and the first shadow in the palette is High Tide. I use Summer Magic, just a nice beautiful matte shadow that's kind of creamy beige, leans a little bit warm. And then the next shadow is number 9. It's Shall We Dance, and I use Spring Fling. So I go ahead and show you guys the swatches in order of Too Faced on their website, so you guys will see side by sides. And also it helps to show those mattes back to back. Some of those mattes in the future will look very close and similar, so that is also very helpful. Sun Chaser, I use the shadow Morning Star. Excuse me, Sun's Out Morning Star. I'm not even following my own notes correctly. Okay, then we jump down to Nude Beach, and for that I use San Diego. I think San Diego fits it very well. Nice, beautiful, matte. I would call it a neutral brown. Light to mid-tone, depending on your skin color. Then Hot Chocolate. I use that to dupe the shade Sun Chaser. And this is where it really comes in handy to kind of go top and then bottom, and its corresponding like matte shade. Because now you're going to see right next to each other what Hot Chocolate and what San Diego look like. It's kind of nice. This has got a more red-based chocolatey brown. So going back up to Golden Hour, I use the shade French Hens. Or maybe, no, actually that would be Shell Ya, and I use Paris. Sorry. I wrote it out in the way that Leah Janae swatched them, but then I'm going back and actually swatching them according to Too Faced. So now we're using Turtle Doves to dupe the shadow Surfboard. And you can see those two shimmers next to each other. So the next shade is Honesty, and this is a matte. I would call it light. I don't even think it reaches the medium unless you're super uber duper light in skin tone. But Honesty is a light peachy beige, peachy pink beige. Then the shade Butter Pecan gets duped by the shade Honesty. I think this is a really, really nice shade. Goes a little bit more peachy instead of like a pink. And I think that Too Faced leans a little more pink, but this is a little more peachy. I'm okay with that though. So this one is, now I gotta go back up. Was it Blaze? So hot. So hot. This is Blaze. I need to be paying attention a little bit better. Okay, this one's Blaze, and the previous shade before that is Desert Sun. Do apologize. They're very similar. I wouldn't say you would need both, but you know, if you were going that direction. So then Lords of Leaping. This is a pink-based brown. I would call it a red-based brown, a purpley red-based brown, maybe maroon. Dupes and stands in for the shade Chai Times. We're going to be dipping into some of these darker shades because I really haven't ever before. So then Plummet. That goes in place of Cocoa Glow. Nice. Again, beautiful rich brown. This one leans a little bit more neutral, I would say. But again, I wouldn't say you would need both of those shadows if you were writing out a list of Sydney Grace shadows to purchase. I would go with one or the other. Then Forever Enough. That goes in place of Bonfire Babes. This is kind of a maroon burgundy shimmer shadow. Really liking that, but it is pretty dark and it's hard to see the shimmer in it. So I use the shade Tiara in place of, I believe it was like a duochrome or like a topper shadow. So I went ahead and dipped into my shade Tiara because you know I love it so much. And then later on I found that it's even more dual purpose than I thought from the beginning. When you tap it on over your hand just lightly, first of all, it's got a kind of a duochrome shift to it from like a soft warm taupe. And when you tap it on like that, it can almost give you a topper-like effect. But you've really got to go in with a light hand because you can see here it does have like a silvery base to it. But, you know, you could use it as an eyeshadow topper. Alongside the shade Blaze, I feel like that could be a topper as well. Then the last shade in the palette, Beyond. And that goes in place of Black Sand. Couldn't find a softened black or a charcoal black, so I went with the darkest brown that I have in my Sydney Grace collection, and I feel like it's a neutral, really dark brown. It would really deepen up any of the looks using this shadow, and I'm just filling in the opacity as much as I can, but you can see that it is a very dark brown. It is not like a softened black or a charcoal black or anything like that. There's the shadows that I picked to dupe the vibes of the Sunset Stripped palette by Too Faced. I really like the shades that I picked out for the selection, and I did keep in mind some of the duochromes and the eyeshadow topper shades from the palette. It seems like a very versatile palette. But I already have kind of shown myself that I have a lot of these shades, so I don't feel the need to go out and purchase the palette, at least not right now. Too Faced offers a lot of steep discounts, so if you guys are in the market or tempted by this palette, I would hold off until a steep discount because most of the time you can find these types of palettes up to 50% off. You just gotta wait. It'll happen, I promise you. So hopefully you're not too tempted by it right now and you can dig into some of your single eyeshadow collection. Let's go ahead and see what I can make out of this single eyeshadow collection put together I did right here. Brand exclusive, Sydney Grace. So let's check that out. Dipping into, let's do Lords of Leaping and put this all over the lid. And just build it up. I don't think I'm using the right brush. I guess I definitely see where Leah is getting the fact that it's not going to give you a very smoky look, but it will be, you know, a very pretty look. It's just, I'm going to try and challenge the whole smoky thing, see if I can get mine to really look super smoky. Now dipping into the shade, Now dipping into the shade Beyond, which is the darkest shade in the palette right there, and placing that right below. I'm just going to do one eye on camera. No fallout so far. I'm sticking close to the outer edge first and not really blending anything yet because I'm going to use some of those lighter shades to blend here in just a moment. So I'm going to go just a hair above my crease with this dark shade. I wanted it to be like a warm, super duper uber warm brown. But I wanted to make it nighttime appropriate because it's in the middle of the morning. And I really, just really wanted that. But here's the cool thing is the sun is shining, so I can put my sunglasses on. Ooh, that looks beautiful. I'm going to continue to go in and just kind of buff and blend these dark shades. I feel like I don't know if I could get this from the Too Faced palette or not because of the way that the color was so matte. I know it's looking a little patchy. I don't see it too bad here. Refer 16. Jump into one of these lighter shades. So I'm going to dumping this all over the crease to blend out that shade. It's the Shadow Hot Chocolate. Just kind of start up here, blend around. And I might have to build up a little bit of that opacity again, but that's fine. That's a traditional smoky eye for you. You got to kind of build things. You don't want to rush anything. And then I'm staying more closer to the outside edge here. Boy, these shadows just basically blended themselves out. I think I'm going to stick with a matte eye today. So grabbing this MAC 219 and using the lightest shade in the palette, which is Summer Magic for me. Just go ahead and kind of just buff a little into that brow. You see that? Just buff a little into the brow. It did actually darken it a little bit, but let me show you here. Once I have blended this shade, it'll blend into my brow bone shadow, and it will actually, you know, help it to transition just the way I want it to. Wonderful. Then grabbing a little bit of the shade San Diego right here, first matte in the second row, just buff a little bit of it right in there. You can kind of see a little area that needs a little work. So here we go. Now, I always say this, just work it nice and gently in and around, because it can get really out of hand really quickly. And when you're going from darkest to lightest, one of the easiest things to do is run out of that prime real estate that you got over here, this eyelid space. Alright, so we got a little whiteness in there. Just gonna pick up my 219 again, picking up the hot chocolate shade, tap off, looking over, and just buffing a little in. I really don't want it to be black in the inner corner. I want it to actually ombre out to this being the darkest area. So, alright, looks like I could stand to add just a little bit more of that dark shadow, so picking up a little bit more, this time on a Makeup Geek pointed crease brush, and just kind of tapping in. Alright, back out to my Refer 16 and just blend a little bit. Beautiful. For the lower lash line, I think I do want to keep it smoky. Yeah. Rephr 03, dip back into that Beyond shadow, which is that really dark shade right under Tiara over here. Just kind of stamp it on. When we're this incredibly dark, I definitely don't want to get a lot of fallout, especially since my base is already done. And then I re-intensify that lash line coming up into it. You see that there? You can probably see it. It actually shows up on camera a lot better than it does in person. In person, I feel like the look is much more blended. But on camera, in my viewfinder, it's like I can see patchiness for some reason, but I don't really see it. Oh man, this is the easiest smoky eye I think I have ever done. Wow. I think I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out just a little bit there. And then backing out again to that Rephr 16 and just blend a little bit. Just a little bit harsh. So we're just going to blend just a little bit. And then dip back into, I think it was, yeah, it's hot chocolate. Just place just a little bit more right on this edge. Okay, picking up hot chocolate again with that Makeup Geek crease brush and buff out this underneath Beyond shadow. That looks beautiful. This is a nice dramatic eye, so I don't mind doing a lash. I'm going to finish off the other eye off camera, and we will jump out and let you see the final look. So, see you on the other side. Woo! Okay, I don't know about you, but I think this is a nice smoky eye. Like, I think it's dark, it's complex. I think it works really super well. I don't know, like, I need to, obviously... brush up my smoky eye skills, but I think that using this shade right here I was able to achieve a really smoky eye. I mean, I guess, yeah, not like completely. This one's blended out way better than this one. I kind of like rushed it, so just ignore that. But yeah, very, very satisfied with duping the vibes. I feel really good about using these shades. I've been using this palette for about a week now. I have to say, in love with the versatility of this palette. I have done my makeup probably like 3 or 4 times, and every single time it looks like I'm getting ready to go to a wedding, or I could be in a wedding, or I've got a piece of hair on my hand right there. It's just that elegant, that romantic, that blissful. And the shadows blend so effortlessly. So Sydney Grace really nails it with her single eyeshadows. I can't speak to the Too Faced palette. I know Leah Janae said that the shimmers were a lot better in the Sunset Stripped versus the Neutral Nudes palette that they launched, I believe, last year, which also appealed to me, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just another neutral palette, and I own a lot of neutral singles because I am a neutral girls at heart. So when I saw this palette launched, I really, really, really did feel like, you know, the pull to buy the shadow. But at the end of the day, really pleased with the look. Really, really beautiful, soft, sultry, romantic looks. I've been popping this shade, I think it's San Diego, in the crease, and then I put this all over the lid for an entirely matte look, and it is so soft and so elegant. It's that kind of like, I know you've got to be wearing makeup, but it's so soft, I really can't see it that much. I just really love it. And then there's these burgundy shadows right here that are really accentuate blue eyes first off. Am I in focus? There we go. There we go. So now you can see we trend kind of on the rosy nudes, deep plummy burgundies, which those I love. The only shade I had a qualm with, when I saw it all swatched out, it was kind of like, don't know if I love it, and I might change it out later, is the shade French Hens. It looks in the pan to be kind of that rosy nude, but when you swatch it, it has more orange in it than it lets on. So, you know, that's what's so great about this, though. I can switch this out with anything at all. No topper shades. I did put a soft duochrome in here, and I believe that Leah Janae in her review said that this was a duochrome. It's Spring Fling, really soft duochrome. Think it really fits the vibe. Haven't used it yet because I've been pretty much staying in this range right here. But Tiara, I also found it to be kind of like a topper shade. Now you have to just like dab really light, and then you kind of see that shimmer that's on my finger right there. I could just easily pop that on the lid. Not going to today. I'm just looking for a soft matte look. I've been into a matte look lately, and I go with the flow. That's the way I do things. That's the way I've been doing things. Is if I'm feeling a matte moment, I lean into it. If I'm feeling a super uber duper shimmery, shiny, sparkly, glittery, textured moment, I lean into that as well. And then it kind of like gets you out of your realm, and you end up using a lot of your shadows. So really excited. If you guys pick up the Sunset Strip by Too Faced, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're excited about these shadows right here and you'd like to pick them up, I'm going to link down below Camera Ready Cosmetics, because I can actually link them. Why does it look like my eye is like drooping? I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to link Camera Ready Cosmetics, because there I can actually make a little bit of dough if you guys order through them. However, I do want to let you know, I've never ordered through Camera Ready Cosmetics, so I cannot speak on the customer service, and I cannot speak to the shipping. However, I do know Sydney Grace is really wonderful with their shipping, and they're always great with their customer service, so I'm also going to link her down below as well. But if you choose to support the channel and you want to help, you know, dump a little money into the channel, and you use Camera Ready Cosmetics to shop some of these shades, then thanks so much. And I just want to tell you guys all how much you guys truly mean to me. You guys are all so special. I really enjoy this community that we have here. So thanks so much. Don't feel obligated to purchase anything at all, because Nothing New 22 is going strong, and I want you guys to feel empowered and enriched to get into your collection and use what you've got. Don't be buying anything unless it's in the cards for you, okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Can't wait to see you guys in the next video.